What's up, y'all? This is Lance of BH Capital Enterprises, where I teach black people how to navigate the markets. Specifically, I teach a lot about how to read charts. So, just as an FYI, charts are not all encompassing when it comes to technical analysis. So, what I mean by that is that really, when you get down to the technicalities of it, you can't really use technical analysis and charts interchangeably, but a lot of people do because you can read price action without a chart. So just keeping that in mind, or keep that in mind as you move forward, because you get a lot of people that they'll say, I don't use technical analysis. And what they mean is that I don't look at charts, or I don't know how to read charts. But when they're looking at numbers, volume, open interest, when they're looking at, the previous day's close and things of that nature, that's all technical analysis. So just want to dispel that myth. But anyway, welcome to those of you that are new here. Welcome back to those of you that are not new here. Thank you all for subscribing. And if you have not done so already, please do yourself the pleasure of hitting that bell, hitting subscribe, so that you'll get notified whenever I put out new content. So I'm doing more market markups than I usually do, simply because requests are starting to come in. So I want to get them out and get them done, because I have VIX that I want to do next. So I have 2 more requests to get out before I get to VIX. So anyway, NKE or Nike was the one that someone requested in the comments. So I'm doing Nike for that young lady, and I hope she finds some value in this, or maybe even learns a thing or two. Maybe same thing for me, because I'm always looking to learn something. Nike isn't a ticker that I follow on a regular basis, so I think this will be my first time doing a complete technical analysis of this chart. So before I jump into Nike, let me just say this is not any sort of investment advice. This is not a recommendation for any type of stock or anything like that. I do not currently own any Nike stock. I don't have any options in Nike or anything like that. So I have no affiliation with Nike or anything like that currently. So just wanted to get that out there. I do this for fun. I literally love looking at charts and marking them up. So this is just me sharing in that fun with the world. So be sure to leave a comment. If you'd like me to check out a ticker or two, put it in the comments and I'll put it in the queue. Please share with your friends and ask your friends to subscribe. If you are interested in learning how to read charts, hit me up. You can leave a comment. You can email me at lance@bhcapitalenterprises.com, whatever your preferred method of communication is. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Twitter and Instagram are at BHCapENTLLC. You can find me there, and then on Facebook is BH Capital Enterprises. Anyway, is there anything else that I wanted to say in terms of announcements? I think it was, but I can't remember right at this moment. So I will just go ahead and get started. So with Nike currently trading at 134.17, as you can see, the markets are still open right now. I just figured I'd take a little break and get this one done. So this is the yearly chart for Nike. So each candlestick represents 1 year. What I tend to do on the yearly chart is look for any sort of patterns, depending on how long the company has been trading, publicly trading. But Nike is in phase 2 of the market cycle right here, right now, according to the yearly chart. However, this year it's struggling pretty much above 2020 close. So I'm going to do a price level here at 2020's closing price, which is 141.47. Nike had a hell of a run last year. like most everything else in the market. You guys know what I like to do. Actually, I don't want to do that. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Alright, so 20 close, show on the right. Set 141.47. I like to be precise or accurate, I mean. Alright, so there we go. So 2020 close. So obviously on the yearly chart, Nike struggles above 2020 close. So you can see, as evidenced by these wicks, that, some selling pressure tends to come in above 141. And so far, lower highs from 2020 to 2021, not by a whole lot. So far this year, the high was 147.10. So just 85 cents below 2020's high. So as you know, we're still in the first half of 2021, so anything can happen between now and December 31st. But the yearly chart I tend to look at maybe twice a year, usually around the end of the year and about mid-year. So I check up on it to see if sentiment is changing, if there's anything new that I need to take note of. But yeah, so it's not something that I'm looking at on a daily basis, is what I'm, trying to convey. But yeah, so phase two of the market cycle, so it may be entering some consolidation here, and it had some consolidation here for about 3 years before it finally broke out in 2018, and it ran up until 2020. So maybe we get another 3 years of consolidation, maybe not. But we'll see. We'll see. It'll take a while before we're able to properly gather that information. So let's take a look at the monthly chart. So this is a 10-year monthly chart on Nike, and what I'm seeing right now is that it is consolidating mostly between pretty much 130 and that 141 level. So personally, I would mark this 130 area as well. And I like to make sure that when I draw my trend lines in Thinkorswim, that they're all zeros. That way, when I extend to the right, they will always be the same. So there won't be any slight variation from beginning to end. So make sure, if you want your levels to maintain that accuracy, make sure that you do that. So okay, so Nike currently, like I said, above that 141 area, it really starts to struggle. But here on the monthly chart, you can see that really it starts to struggle. At least for 2021, it has really been struggling above about the mid 130s area. So that would be an area that I would really watch. That would be maybe a little less significant than the others, but as far as this year is concerned, would be significant for me. So I'm just gonna make this like a little dotted line here. All right. So for me, I would just be watching to see if it continues to kind of oscillate between these two levels. I think earnings. Someone told me earnings is coming on the 17th. Oh, this one says the 24th. Okay. All right. So far for the month of May, we got lower or higher lows and higher highs. So if this is able to hold, I'd be looking, over the next few weeks to see if Nike can successfully breach this dotted line here, which is about 135, 136, somewhere in there. Um, I think that beating that level successfully, and I mean, when I say beat, I mean it has a nice close above it, even if it, or even an open and a close above this level, it definitely goes to the low 140s at least. So Apple's not very far, not Apple, Nike's not very far off of its all-time high. So I'm actually going to make note of those key pullback areas just to see. Okay. Okay, so the 2020 close is right near, excuse me, right near the 5% pullback. So I'm not gonna draw that one just because they're so close together. But just for your records, if you want to make note of that level, it's 140.55. So 140.55 is the 5% pullback. Um, let's see. Okay, so correction territory is 133.15. So that's actually very close to this trend line. 133.15. I'm gonna draw that one because actually, the month of May it tested slightly below that correction territory, but so far has maintained or been able to maintain that price action above that level, and it pretty much opened about 17 cents away from that. So, let's do a price level. Let's do a price level. Okay. Okay, so correction. Okay, so correction. And as you can see, the price pretty much for all of 2021 it has tested that correction level multiple times, but only maybe 2 months it closed slightly below that level. But Nike really, really, really wants to stay out of that correction territory. So um, let's see, phase two, not phase three of the market cycle right now. And that tends to be just some consolidation. And it can come out of this consolidation either bearish or it can come out bullish. But either way, it's got some tough, it's wedged between some tough levels here on the monthly chart. Trying to see if I see anything else currently. Uh, yeah, okay. Okay, so this trend line here is one that I would keep an eye on. Just watch to see if, for me, this one will represent pretty much the sentiment um, for the last several months. So breaking this trend line here, pretty much kind of would represent for me, well, it would tell me whether I need to reevaluate for a change in sentiment. Um, but the price could, consolidate right past this level, or it could, just bounce above here. And considering that earnings is coming in about a month, it could, bounce off of here, but it also could break this level in a bearish manner, and do anything after that. But this is definitely a trend line that I would keep an eye on. In terms of sentiment on the monthly chart. Um, let's see. That's pretty much all I'm seeing right now on the monthly chart. Let's look at the weekly and see what's shaping up over there. Okay, so weekly chart, you also see some consolidation, very choppy action here with Nike. Looks like the recent pattern is you'll get like 3 to 4 down days, and a strong up day, and then you'll get another 3 to 4 down days, and then a strong up day. 3 down days, slightly not necessarily strong, but a bullish day. Then you got two, and then so on and so forth. But so far, it is staying above this trend line that I mentioned on the monthly chart just a second ago. But like I said, uh, overall sentiment is just some consolidation here. So like I said, look for either a breakdown from this area or a breakout. I don't want to be biased, but typically heading into earnings, things sometimes they tend to run coming out of earnings because volume kind of piles in as traders are looking to get some of that pre-earnings run up. People are positioning. So yeah. Do I see any sort of pattern? I don't. I don't necessarily see one right now. Well, it could be. We could have a bull flag shaping up here. I'm gonna take a screenshot before I start to erase some stuff, because I don't want my charts to. I used to be totally okay with my charts being completely messy, but now I like for them to be a little more neat. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm rolling right now. Mhm. Okay, so we got something kind of like a descending channel happening here, and we have what could be a bull flag. If that's the case, then 64 all the way to the high. Let's see. Um, it has possible 83-point move or run coming out of this flag, the second phase of the flag. But that's if and only if it is indeed a bull flag. And you don't really know how long it'll keep oscillating between these two areas. All you can do is just watch and be patient and see what happens. And you don't want to be biased. You want to consider the possibility that, hey, this may not be a bull flag at all, and this thing might just, plummet out of here. But this next earnings is going to, I think, provide better insight into whether this thing is going to take off and run or not. So, um, just to do that here. And then I'm just going to put a little text note here so that it's clear what. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to make this white, a little bit bigger, and bold it. Take another screenshot. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm seeing on the weekly chart. And again, because this is a weekly chart, this would take a little while to manifest. So maybe by August, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, because this could, consolidate and continue, heading down. Uh, could, worst case scenario is that Apple, I don't know why I keep calling it Apple. Worst case scenario is that Nike gets down to 110 to 105 area. Um, but uh, that's that's something that we don't necessarily know until we know. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I would, make note of some possible buying areas in case they bomb this next earnings and sell off. So actually, I'll do that right now. Yeah, I think I'll do that now. So I'll make this area here, and then this area up in here. So these will be some possible buy zones here. And I'll do those yellow. Alright, let me put some text inside of them. Then take this off. Let's make this white so it's easy to see. Bold that thing. We'll just leave it like it is, whatever. That's neat. Okay, so a couple demand zones there. Um, yeah, that's all I can see with the weekly chart. And actually, I will close that one and save this one instead. Okay. Alright, now let's check out the daily chart. Okay, so you can see that descending channel situation happening a little better here. And I'm just going to move this over a bit to get it in the frame. There we go. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to take these. I would consider this one a lesser demand zone, but really the demand is down here at 100 to about 97, 95, somewhere in there. Um, yeah, that's that's what I would say. Um, not a whole lot I can say about this one? Let's go here, see where these moving averages are. Okay, so Nike is currently facing the possibility of a death cross between the 500 or the 50 and the 200-day moving average. So that's not necessarily the best sign. I'm just taking my bull flag, trend lines off of here, clean it up a little bit more. All right, so price is struggling above this 50-day moving average. So I would just, watch over the next few days to see if this correction level continues to hold, and if it can kind of move away from this 50-day in a bullish manner, or if it falls below this and, maybe even bounces off that 200-day again. So I'm not going to rule out the possibility of that happening and it even falling below the 200-day. But with earnings so close, it's hard to say. With earnings so close, I'm kind of leaning on the side of the price will stay above those levels. So it may fall and test that 200-day and it may and bounce. It may not even hit that 200-day. It may bounce from this 50. But we have, obvious phase 3 right here. But, I would just look for the price to break out or break down from this area. For me, I probably wouldn't touch Nike until it gets out of this area. Unless, of course, you're trying to do like an overnight trade or a day trade, then that's a different story. But this is just in terms of swing trades or leaps or anything like that. So, and I don't think I've ever traded Nike before. So, but yeah, I tend to, like I've said this before, I tend to like to catch stuff coming out of periods of consolidation. And this one's looking like a pretty decent candidate, but, definitely not rushing it inside this area. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I don't necessarily see anything else right now. Um, I'll be keeping an eye on Nike. I am seeing sort of a rounded top type situation, and I wish Thinkorswim would allow me to draw that. But basically, here is it's like a bowl that you turn upside down. So here's the opening of the bowl down here, and here's the upside down portion of the bowl, which would be the bottom of the bowl. So we could see Nike. You can see where it has been struggling outside of that area. So, I mean, if it breaks down from here, it could definitely blast through these levels, but they would just be levels that I would keep an eye on. So yeah, that's pretty much it, as far as what I have to say about Nike. And I believe I called it Apple again for some odd reason, but Nike is what I mean. If you guys have any questions, I hope you aren't shy about asking. Let me know what your thoughts are about Nike. Let me know again if you want me to check out any other tickers. I'd be happy to do it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next market markup.